Hello, everyone. So we are doing the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine energy updates for the week. What is in store with the feminine and masculine energies? We will be breaking these down into head space and heart space, and also how these actually play out in the physical world. Um, just a reminder that this is not based on gender, but what these energies are aligned to. We'll be using multiple decks tonight to do this. And this will also be, we are streaming live right now on YouTube as well as TikTok. So hello to both of my audiences in both locations. I hope you guys are having a beautiful evening. So why don't we get started? We're going to start with the feminine energy for today, well, for this week. I am going to be using for the feminine energies headspace my favorite deck, my Smith-Waite Centennial deck. Let us get to it. Oh, thank you guys so much for the comments. I appreciate it. Hello, Carly. Hello, everyone joining us. Okay, so what do we have coming through right now for feminine energy? Can I please get the first card? The first thing that's coming through right now in the feminine headspace energy for the week is, I'm not surprised to see it, Two of Pentacles in its reversal. So feminine energy this week, what you've really been seeing is you are deciding to move forward on a particular choice. This is something that you've been weighing back and forth for quite some time, but this is the week that you're going to understand that just because you can carry a lot of things doesn't necessarily mean that you need to carry a lot of things. So you're really paring down right now as it relates to your priorities. This could also be making a choice as it relates to something that you've been thinking about for some time. A lot of this, though, is we're glad to see this because what this really says is there is some breaking point with the feminine energy. Feminine just feels like something has been weighing on them too much. And this is the week that feminine is really looking at the situation and circumstance and asking themselves what they need to really carry forward into 2023. Very happy to see this for our feminine energy today. What else do we have coming through right now for feminine energy? Can I please get one card? One card, please. We've got two cards coming up here. And as it relates to the circumstance or scenario, what is this weight? What is this decision point that feminine is reaching right now as it relates to their daily tasks, their daily priorities? Well, it has to do with masculine energy, as we can see here with the Emperor coming up in its reversal. So what we love here is this is the point where feminine is turning away from manifestations of masculine energy that they may feel are controlling or not necessarily doing anything in their service to protect that energy, but instead they're turning towards new passions, new opportunities, new projects, things that they can claim as their own. And this is the area right now where this is the moment, this is a turning point in the feminine energy today, this week, that's really saying that feminine is choosing their own passions, their own inspiration, versus any type of energy that is seeking to thwart or control or manipulate their energies in this space. So this is the moment that feminine is really coming into their power and moving into this place of action as it relates to their own passions and their own inspirations. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. What else do we have coming through for the feminine headspace right now? Just a moment. Can I please get one card? We've got two cards coming up right now. One is in its upright and one is in its transverse. So we are seeing here with the Three of Cups, the Three of Cups, what am I saying? With the Eight of Cups, that this is the moment where feminine is moving forward. Like when I say that there is a decision and a direction that feminine is moving into, we see them moving into it full throttle. This is a point, whatever this is, I feel like this has been a moment that has been a long time coming for feminine, because whatever this is has been creating an opportunistic block energetically for the feminine energy. Feminine is now recognizing this, that their indecision, their lack of choice, their lack of ability to move forward from this point has been limiting them in terms of their opportunities. And this is the week that feminine is moving into this direction of choosing their passion, of choosing the new energy, and moving away from things that were not serving them, or manifestations of the masculine energy that were coming forward in a less positive, more controlling fashion. Now, we also see here a transverse, and this transverse is coming through with the Four of Wands in its transverse. And what this really indicates is this is a moment, I will point out, whenever we see the Eight of Cups, there is usually some feeling of sadness or regret or loss that is associated with this moment. But feminine is also making this choice, not only because this burden has basically just become too much for them to bear, but truly they're also seeing there is whatever this is has reached a moment of conclusion and finality, because feminine does not see any positive future scenario were they to continue to hold in this position or carry this load. This is the moment that feminine is just saying, you know what, I'm going to be moving forward towards my joy. I'm not going to continue to wait for this desired positive outcome that is clearly not something that looks like it is in the cards, or there's some kind of uncertainty around this situation or circumstance. And this is what is allowing feminine and this moment to be able to move forward. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the shares and the follows. We are going to proceed now to take a look at the masculine energy. Let's find out what's going on with the masculine energies headspace. And we are going to be using today for the masculine headspace the one of my favorite decks. I love this deck, the Todd Alcott Pulp Tarot deck. Very cool, very pretty. All right, what do we have coming through right now for the masculine energy? Let's give this a quick shuffle. Hello to everybody joining us. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. All right, what are we seeing going on right now in the masculine headspace? Because feminine is definitely moving forward in some capacity. Now, masculine energy right now, can I please get one card? We've got two cards coming up right now for the masculine headspace. The first one is Page of Cups and Two of Swords. So masculine energy, we see feminine just completely moving forward, completely in their headspace where they're ready to push out of this whatever situation that they're feeling kind of trapped. They're feeling like there is some not negative control around it. Masculine energy right now, to a certain extent, is getting more serious, that there is something here where masculine is no longer wanting or desiring to play games, but we also see a moment of inactivity here, as is indicated by the Two of Swords. Masculine energy is holding right now in terms of what their actions are. And that is because they are allowing their intuition to take guidance. They're not necessarily sure right now which direction they want to move into, but they are realizing now that there's something about whatever circumstance that they find themselves in, that the time to play games has officially ended, and that there is something here that is making them tap into their higher intuition. And it is this moment of pause that masculine is currently experiencing to allow themselves this moment of insight as they try to move into this place of more seriousness. This can also be an acknowledgement or appreciation of the fact that the energy around them right now is also very serious, is also not playing games, is also not invested or interested in playing games of this nature. And this is where masculine is kind of holding right now as they try to just determine what to do next. What else do we have coming through for the masculine headspace right now? Thank you guys so much for the likes and the shares and the follows. Can I please get two cards? We've got two cards. I was asking for one card, but we got two cards. What else is going on in the masculine headspace right now? Masculine headspace is thinking a lot about feminine energy, as is indicated by the High Priestess that is here in this deck. However, there is a moment here of feeling at the same time that they are in a place of confidence, that they're in a place of security as it relates to the feminine energy, that really they are kind of enjoying this position that they feel that they're in, because there is some manifestation right now of the feminine energy that masculine feels is in access or is reachable to them by even as they're kind of concentrating on their own power, on their own opportunity. Masculine is kind of using this opportunity, not necessarily to move towards feminine, but really to kind of show the full array of what they have to offer, some manifestation of feminine in this High Priestess energy. So there is this moment of pause that we're seeing. Not so much activity right now with the masculine energy, but masculine's energy is definitely focused and directed on a particular manifestation of feminine. And it's in this way that they're really kind of building their array, if you will, to kind of show this energy what they have to offer as it relates to some situation or scenario. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the shares and the follows. What else do we have coming through with the masculine headspace? Can I please get one card to clarify? We have the Fool in its transverse. So when I say that this is not necessarily the moment that masculine is moving forward, it is because masculine is trying to think very carefully upon what their next steps are. With the Fool in its transverse, this really indicates that masculine energy is at a point where they're a bit uncertain how to approach, how to move forward. However, they are seriously contemplating it. I will point out, we saw this same Fool energy in the masculine headspace last week. Same card, though it was not in its transverse at that time. And I do see here that whatever it is in relation to, as it relates to this step going forward, it is towards the feminine. It is towards the manifestation of feminine and an uncertainty about how that approach should be, as is indicated by this card having the feminine energy on it. All right, guys, that is so far what we've gotten for the headspace. Let's dig into what we have going on for the heart space right now. For the feminine heart space right now, we are going to be using the Golden Nouveau Tarot, one of my favorites. We are also, I love using this one for the feminine heart space. It's so beautiful. I'm blowing the other cards away as I shuffle. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the shares and the follows. What do we see going on right now in the feminine heart space? Can I please get, we've got 3 cards immediately coming up. I'm going to read all of them together because apparently feminine has a lot of stuff going on in their heart space. The first set of 3 that we're seeing right now in the heart space is 8 of Swords in its transverse. So really, this is the moment that feminine is not waiting for anyone to come in to rescue them. They're not waiting on situations. They're not waiting on actions. They are just moving forward. They are taking this opportunity to move forward. They are freeing themselves from situations that they feel trapped within because they are building upon new opportunities. They are trying to build new ground. They are trying to have new starts, as we see here with the 3 of Pentacles. The feminine headspace understands right now that there is something about building a new solid foundation in their life, particularly around their own stability and their own security. And it is in this way that the energy is trying to move. What we're also seeing here is this is something that is a little bit difficult for the feminines, as is indicated by the Queen of Swords in its reversal. The Queen of Swords in its reversal. The Queen of Swords in its reversal. The Stool. Sorry, I had to give somebody a little bit of insight. Okay. So what we're really seeing here is feminine is doing this. Feminine is taking these steps forward, but they're also staying very open and receptive right now. There is something right here where the feminine does have their guard down. They are keeping themselves open and available to whatever is coming towards them. And they are feeling very vulnerable as it relates to the direction that they're going into. However, this is something where the feminine is not waiting anymore. They're just moving forward into these directions, trying to build these new beginnings. What else do we have coming through? And this is why we see feminine using this week to make a choice and to put down something that is too much of a burden for them to carry. What else do we see going on right now in the feminine heart space? Can I please get one card to clarify? Whoop. Same card as masculine, though in the heart space for feminine. We have here the 9 of Cups in its upright, though, which was also the same as the masculine. However, there is a difference right now around this because this is something that is being embodied by the feminine as opposed to what is being thought about by the masculine. So there is a reflection point happening between the two. However, for this is the feminine basically opening their heart again, using this opportunity to kind of show what is in their heart, to allow things to put themselves like in a space right now where they are leaving their heart open and available to those that are around them that are willing to receive it, given the fact that they see these new passionate energies, these new passionate starts around them. They're ready to move forward in this way. They are feeling confident. They are feeling in their space where they are ready to take these steps forward because feminine is recognizing their own abundance as it relates to their own ability to love, to show empathy. This is the place where feminine is really coming back into their power. And this is what is allowing them to move forward towards those new passionate beginnings, those new projects, those things that they're passionate about, and breaking away from some energies that they consider more controlling or more toxic in their lives. We are going to continue right now. So getting clarity right now between this Eight of Cups. So this walking away that the feminine is taking into some direction or some avenue because there's some situation or scenario in the feminine energy right now that they just don't necessarily see a positive outcome on the horizon. Can I please get one card to clarify in the heart space? We have the Queen of Wands in its reversal. So this does indicate here that what we're really seeing is there is some situation or scenario that feminine is not necessarily feeling, whatever this situation or scenario is, where there isn't a predicated outcome, where feminine is not sure what is going to happen. The reason that they are allowing themselves to walk away from this point and not necessarily wait to find out what is going to happen is because feminine is recognizing that ultimately this situation and circumstance that they find themselves in, where they are not sure what the outcome is not giving them enough of their own power of person, their own autonomy, their own ability to create. We see that the feminine desires this with this Ace of Wands energy, this desire to create, this desire to have this ability over their own creativity and passion. And this is feminine basically making the choice for themselves to move towards the things that they feel they have this ability to show their abundance. They have this ability to share their empathy. They have this ability to show their heart space versus those areas that are leaving them uncertain about what the future holds and is effectively robbing them of their own power and their own joy. This is also saying to me that particularly with the Queen of Wands being the communicator, this is simply areas right now in the feminine's life that they're just choosing not to communicate, that they've just found that all they really need to do in order to walk away from something is just to stop communicating. And this is a place where feminine is needing to try to get back into their power as it relates to this. But feminine is kind of saying, you know what? I don't need this. I'm just going to walk away from it. We don't hate that for feminine. We really don't hate that for feminine. Feminine's going after their joy right now. All right, we are going to get some clarifiers right now as it relates to the masculine heart space. For the masculine heart space right now, we will be using the Game of Thrones Tarot, another favorite of mine. Can I please get, so the first thing we will be doing right now is getting clarity right now between this Page of Cups energy reversed with the Two of Swords. So masculine just being in a place right now where they're just not feeling very much at like doing anything fun or active at all. There is kind of a retreat moment here. There is a moment of stillness for this manifestation of masculine. They realize the time to play games is over. They're getting more serious. They're allowing this moment of pause. They're not necessarily sure how to move forward, but they're letting their intuition guide them and propel them forward, giving themselves the space to kind of allow their intuition to step forward. Really this moment of pause. While we see feminine in this moment of profound activity, feminine is just saying, you know, here we go. So can I please get one card to clarify? Clarifying in the heart space is the Four of Cups in its reversal. And what this really indicates is masculine is trying to figure out some way to move forward from this point and potentially move forward towards a feminine, as we do have a feminine reflected in this card. However, there is uncertainty or indecision as it relates to their approach towards this feminine energy. And this is the moment that their heart space is having this moment of uncertainty. And this is why they're pausing, because they're trying to give the intuition the moment. They're trying to let their head, the intuition from their head, guide their heart as to what it wants to do. Though this also says that the heart does have its own ideas or impressions on what it would like to do, but there is a moment of pause that masculine's giving as they try to decide if this is the right way to go moving forward. Continuing to get clarity right now against this High Priestess energy combined with the Nine of Cups. So the masculine turning their intention to a particular manifestation of feminine and basically trying to figure out and trying to show some way to show kind of the full breadth of their opportunities. And this is to show that a way for masculine to really be able to show this feminine everything that that they have to offer this feminine energy, whatever this manifestation is. A lot of thinking about this in the headspace right now. Can I please get one card to clarify? Oh, we've got the card here. We've got the King of Cups. Guys, this card has been coming up like crazy for the masculine energy all week. We see that there is a point right now that is happening with the masculine energy where they are getting more in tune and more aligned with the feminine energy. And it is this alignment point that is also feeding in, and it's coming into their heart space. Because even though we see that this masculine isn't necessarily taking any active steps right now towards that energy, their thoughts and their direction is certainly, and their thoughts are definitely directed towards that energy. And they are feeling very much in harmony with that feminine energy that they are putting their attention towards right now in their headspace, as they're building this deeper connection to their own emotions as it relates to this manifestation of feminine. We like this because this is a continuation of the healing process that we witness happening all throughout the week. Now, getting clarity right now on this Fool in its transverse. So, this uncertainty, this inability to potentially move forward, not sure how to kind of conduct their approach, feeling a bit blocked in terms of figuring out the best way to move forward. Can I please get one card to clarify? We have the Eight of Spears. So the thing that the heart space knows in terms of relating through with this Fool energy in its transverse is that communication is really key right now. Trying to find a way to communicate, to way for the heart to communicate what it is feeling as they move forward. And so this is the moment where, again, we're not seeing masculine necessarily moving directly through into this right now, but communication is definitely in the heart space, and the desire to communicate being the thing that the mind is trying to figure out how to come forward with, how to communicate this from the heart space to the moment of the mind. Makes a lot of sense. We like the fact that we see masculine getting more in touch with their feminine intuition. We are going to continue right now. So all of that said, how does this actually play out in the practical space? We are going to be using the holographic tarot deck, which is an interpretation of the Smith-Waite deck. So to clarify for both energies what this actually looks like in practicality. So getting clarity on how this action point happens with this feminine that is choosing to put down some burdens to move forward right now. Understanding the situations or scenarios where they're feeling vulnerable, but they're looking to build new foundations, new starts, because they want to free themselves from any situation that has them feeling trapped or abandoned. Can I please get one card to clarify? Whoop, there it is. Oh, here's that reflection point. Here is that reflection point between feminine and masculine coming back out again, with feminine not necessarily sure how to move forward, but really allowing their intuition to take the lead. Feminine isn't necessarily taking any giant steps this week as it relates to this, but they're letting themselves have this moment of pause in activity in what they're choosing to do. They're holding on their action as they wait to kind of allow their intuition to tell them what to do. So while they are in their head kind of coming to terms with something, they are not necessarily taking action on it just yet. Though their heart and their head are both saying that they desperately want to put down a burden and be free of this situation or scenario, they're just not necessarily taking all the steps to do that yet at this moment. But they're certainly thinking about it. Getting clarity right now between the headspace of the feminine, which is again rejecting or turning away from energies that they feel have been more controlling or more toxic, potentially from certain manifestations of masculine, and instead turning their direction to areas of more creativity, of passion. This could be passion projects, anything that they are passionate about, they are looking to grow. This could also be new relationship energy, because their heart space feels like this is the direction where they can finally open themselves up, where they can finally utilize the full breadth of all of their emotionalities, of all of their feelings. Can I please get one card to clarify how this looks in practical vision? We've got two cards here in terms of the activation. And here we go again with this mirroring point with the Fool coming up in its reversal, along with the Queen of Cups. So what we're really seeing here is that feminine right now is being very careful on how they move forward. They're being very careful because they're being they're still, and we actually saw this yesterday with the daily collective read. Feminine is still feeling very emotional around whatever this situation is. Feminine is still working through this emotionality that they are experiencing right now. And that's why they are trying to use their best judgment as they set forth on this new journey, making sure that they don't repeat the same mistakes that they have made in the past. So feminine is, again, they're feeling very emotional, but they are actually moving forward this week, taking those steps, but being very, very careful and conscious as they do so, not wanting to make the same mistake, or not wanting to learn the same lessons that they may have just been removing themselves from. Getting clarity right now between the Eight of Cups. So walking away from situations or scenarios where there just doesn't seem to be any hope or possibility of a positive future outcome, because these situations and scenarios that are leaving feminine with an uncertainty are basically robbing them of their ability or autonomy or their ability to do anything in these areas. So feminine is just kind of walking in their head. They're just already kind of departing from these situations because they feel so robbed of their power, if you will, as it relates to communication or action or expressing their passion. Can I please get one card to clarify? We have in action, this is moving into the High Priestess. So the feminine is what is happening right now, because the feminine has this situation or scenario that they had a hoped or desired outcome on that is not necessarily coming about the way that they had hoped. They're moving away from it because they feel disempowered, but they're trusting in their higher spiritual guidance. They're allowing themselves to follow their intuition on this. They're letting their analytical mind guide them on the path that they feel is the best and the wisest for them to proceed upon. All right, we are going to continue right now. So getting clarity on how this looks for activation for the masculine energy, clarifying right now the headspace, which is basically in this moment of Page of Cups in its reversal. So masculine, really at this point where they're ready to let go of games, where they're trying to get more serious, but they're not necessarily sure how to do that, still allowing, hoping for this moment of intuition to guide them on how to move forward, as well as their heart space, really trying to figure out how to come forward to some manifestation of feminine, to make some kind of offer, to make some kind of emotional plea, if you will, but uncertain or even very hesitant to do the thing that their heart is asking them to do. Can I please get one card to clarify? We have Nine of Pentacles in its reversal. So what really is happening is, while this is going on in this head and heart space, almost like battle that masculine is having about what they want to come forward with and how they want to come forward to feminine, but not necessarily feeling completely confident in how to do that. And this uncertainty about what they should do moving forward, not necessarily being in a place where they feel like celebrating or they feel like being happy. What we're really seeing here is masculine is taking this out on the environment around them. They're looking at the environment around them and they're telling themselves that this actually isn't necessarily potentially even an emotional problem. They may just be trying to convince themselves right now that this is a locationality problem, that it has to do with where they are, and that maybe by adjusting something about their environment right now, they would be able to fix what they are feeling right now, to get some clarity of purpose on what those next steps are. Very interesting that somehow between those two spaces, this gets interpreted as a more of a general frustration with the position they find themselves in, and feeling just this this inability to enjoy their space right now, that something is just feeling off or amiss that they can't put their finger on, but really this is what's going on at the heart of it that is causing a bit of this external battle with their external environment. And this could also be, I have to point this out, this could also be masculine energy really just trying to like work it out by working on their space, by like finding something in their immediate area to work on instead, to get their mind off of this point of indecision as they continue to decide on what to do. Clarifying right now between this High Priestess energy, so masculine's headspace and thoughts really being directed towards a manifestation of feminine that they consider in this High Priestess, this higher level of insight, this manifestation of feminine that they feel is very spiritually connected, or they feel very spiritually connected to at this point, and really trying to figure out a way to show this feminine energy that they have this abundance of opportunity to offer them. Because this, I have to point out, this feminine in the High Priestess can also feel very much cold and distant. So I feel like this is a masculine really trying to figure out how to basically have this High Priestess kind of come down and be on the same level with them. And also having this moment of intuitive connection with this high priestess energy, leading the masculine into this king of cups space. So allowing them to get in deeper contact with their own emotionality, with their connection to feminine. Also, like, you know, building that intuitive connection to their feminine side, getting this clarity between these 2 points. Can I please get one card to clarify? We have another reflection point with the Ace of Wands. So this is masculine basically moving forward right now, trying to bring this passion into fruition around a particular manifestation of feminine. So this is the point of activation. This is the point where even the masculine does have a manifestation of feminine that they are considering and they're trying to show their full breath to. They are getting emotionally centered and they are trying to move forward in a passionate way towards this feminine energy. So we finally do see some activation occurring this week around this in terms of the masculine energy, which we do like because we saw a lot of waiting here that's occurring. This is also speaking a lot about masculine trying to put a lot of energy into making their creative plans and their creative projects come down into the physical space, but really trying to manifest all of this into reality as they move through this week. Clarifying right now between this Fool energy and its transverse. So still not necessarily being sure how to proceed, how to start from this point. Not necessarily there yet, but trying to build a plan because there is a feeling of inability to move forward and understanding in the heart space that communication is kind of going to kind of release this block that they're feeling as it relates to how to move forward. Can I please get one card to clarify? Oh, we've got 2 cards here. We've got movement, particularly with this 10 of Wands and a Knight of Swords in its reversal. So this is masculine really making a choice this week that, because it's interesting, because of their inability or uncertainty to move forward, this is them actually finding some path forward that might actually deal with moving, like physical proximity or changing locations or moving locationality, because as we said, this masculine is very upset with the circumstances that they find themselves in. So this is the moment that masculine is literally just potentially like moving themselves into an area that they feel they'll have more success because there's something about their location now that they've really just kind of surrendered to a circumstance or situation that they feel completely and utterly defeated on and unsure of any way to move forward. This is masculine having this moment of walking away that we see with the feminine, except for them, they're actually doing it like physically. They're actually potentially physically moving somewhere right now because they're feeling so at a loss. They're feeling so defeated in one way or another as it relates to some situation or circumstance. All right, we are going to get some bottom of the decks right now to get some clarity right now as to what is going on. So clarifying the headspace right now of feminine, bottom of the deck on this is, here's that mirroring point too, again, with the 4 of Cups. So there is something that feminine does desire to do. There is something that they feel intuitively called to do, but they're not necessarily getting allowing themselves this moment. Feminine is not, even though feminine is making a lot of actions right now, I feel like there is something that they are being spiritually called to do right now, and they're just not necessarily allowing themselves to accept it. They're looking at the situation that is practically in front of them instead of kind of taking this moment that they may be feeling spiritually called to do something. This is some kind of resistance point that they are feeling in the headspace of the feminine right now. Getting clarity right now on the heart space of the feminine, we have the Hermit. So really, what's very interesting here is while we see the fact that feminine in the heart space is really striving and pushing themselves into a state of activity, into a state of actions, what's really happening in the feminine side is there is this moment of isolation. Feminine is doing a lot of this right now because they feel isolated, because they feel alone. They're allowing themselves to find some activation point in the heart space to remove this sense of isolation because they feel like the longer they stay in this place of solitude, the more that their heart is needing to kind of move and react to this feeling that they are experiencing. Clarifying right now, the bottom of the deck for the masculine energy is headspace, is Hangman. Masculine is in a point of pain. They're in a point of suffering. They are unsure what to do. There is some feeling here of feeling profoundly trapped. that there's something here that masculine understands. There was some point of insight that they were waiting to achieve, but now this point of waiting is starting to hurt them. And they realize that they are now just in a moment of pain and they're not necessarily getting insights, but they do not know how to free themselves from this circumstance or scenario that they have found themselves in. Getting clarity right now, bottom of the deck of the heart space of masculine, we have the Page of Coins in its reversal. So there is something here in the heart space that says that though masculine may desire to come forward in some tangible way, they're also feeling completely unable to, on a practical perspective, to be able to come forward in this fashion right now. And this is also what's causing some of the block for masculine. It's not understanding or not knowing how to come forward with a particular offer that is causing so much disruption in the heart space. Though we see clearly in the heart space, there is a desire to communicate, there is a desire to come forward in some way, but there's just this blockage point when it actually comes to figuring out how to make that materialize in the practical world. Bottom of the deck for activation zones in terms of the masculine and feminine energy right now. For feminines, I'm going to split the deck. We've got two different decks here. Feminine, bottom of the deck right now. Activation wise, feminine is reacting right now because they feel abandoned. They feel absolutely abandoned in some circumstance or scenario, and all of their activities right now, all of their actions are trying to move them forward from this feeling of abandonment that they are experiencing. And this, I need to point out, is a wound that feminine can actually do a little bit deeper investigation on, because clearly what this is really saying is there is something about this situation or circumstance that is calling to heart some deeper wounds around the feminine as it relates to the abandonment wound. So any feminines that are feeling that this week, being able to do some investigation on when these feelings first arose will probably give you some clarity on how you are moving and what you need to feel supported and seen and able to move forward with confidence from this point. Bottom of the deck in terms of the activation point for masculine right now, we have 5 of Wands in its reversal. So really, one of the things that we're seeing here is masculine is doing a lot of things. I mean, they're feeling a lot of frustration in terms of their activation zone. They're taking it out a lot on their external environments, and I feel like they're moving it into trying to adjust their external environments right now, because ultimately they feel that there is some battle here that they are not prepared to fight, that there is some kind of conflict that they don't know how to find a resolution or restoration for. And it is this avoidance of conflict, this desire or this inability to really fight for the things that they hope to move forward with right now as it relates to the head and the heart space, that is kind of this moment where they're giving up to a certain extent and they're just moving on in some like very like tangible way, because they don't feel that they have the ability to fight this battle. All right, that is the reading for the feminine and masculine energies for the week. We see a lot of reflection points. We see a lot of activation. So I'm very intrigued in terms of what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my website, gracedraga.com. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading in order for us to have a reading. My readings are done over Zoom with the option of a video recording being sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services at the point of payment. I hope you guys have a lovely night, and we will do this again next week. Take care. All right, guys, I just finished.